We still receive a lot of requests for franchise reviews here on the Franchise City channel. Unfortunately, we had to stop doing them for reasons I will cover on this video. So for many years, if you've been following the channel, Franchise City produced franchise reviews that became fairly popular. And some of our videos received over 1 million views. And I think people liked the content because we did what no one else does, told you about the negatives of these franchises, not just all the sales fluff that you see everywhere else. We warned viewers about the danger of the Franchise 500 list, how veterans were getting ripped off through incentive programs. We warned people about big name brands that were closing stores, franchises that were under investigation, and we interviewed many people who had been ripped off by bad franchises. Now, YouTube for a while was a good platform. As I discovered very early on, the mainstream media won't touch our stories or our press releases because in many cases, these franchises are providing advertising revenue to many of these media outlets. Or, like in the case of Entrepreneur Magazine and the Franchise 500, these stories would portray them in a negative light. So it's been an uphill battle for over a decade trying to get this message out that yes, there are some good franchises, but there are also a lot of bad ones, many of them costing people their life savings. We kept plugging along for many years. Then YouTube all of a sudden started to not show our videos. Now, there's many theories as to why YouTube is doing this, and it's not just us. There's many creators who have the same complaint. But let's just take a look at YouTube, where we've been now for 9 years. We're a verified YouTube partner versus a TikTok account that we just set up for a couple of months. Our Subway video on TikTok, 561,000 views. YouTube, just over 6,000. Dairy Queen on YouTube, 4,000 views. On TikTok, 527,000 views. Most profitable franchise on YouTube, we got just over 4,000 views, and on TikTok, we got 1.7 million views. Now, is TikTok really filled with so many more business-minded people than YouTube? But whatever, it is what it is, and while YouTube stinks for us now, that is not the main reason why we had to stop reviews. So a while ago, out of the blue, we started receiving cease and desist letters from franchise lawyers. Here's an example of the most recent one. I've crossed out the names so you can't see the franchise, but it is under the umbrella of a very big corporation, billion-dollar corporations. Now, in many cases, not only do these franchises send letters, they also portray us through their salespeople negatively to the prospective buyer. And I've heard the stories of some of the dirt that is spread by salespeople within these organizations about Franchise City within the community. And often people will see a billion-dollar company and much smaller Franchise City and will assume the bigger companies are the ones who are always right. Now, if you follow the channel, you will have seen how we've called out many big name brands before they fell from grace. So the media won't cover our stories. It is us against dozens of these significantly larger companies with deeper pocketbooks than we could ever expect to have. The government won't step in to try and control people getting ripped off at all, and they're very aware of it. And now these franchises seem to have started sending legal notices. Now, the reality is, if we fought these in court, we would probably win. Every bit of data that we share is accurate and verified. It is not speculative. And in most cases, it is publicly available if you know where to look. But to spend the thousands of dollars in court fees to win a case just so we can make $12 from a YouTube video doesn't make a whole lot of business sense. So in answer to the requests that we often receive for franchise reviews, can you review this franchise? Can you review that franchise? It isn't that we don't want to make them. I would absolutely love to share the data that we uncover publicly. It's that it's just no longer possible to do all the research, film, upload it, just to get a legal notice and have to delete it, or just to get buried here on YouTube anyway. Now, we can still share this information privately, as we always have with people, but for now it looks like YouTube is no longer a viable option. And I'm thinking instead, maybe I'll just start posting videos of the zoo in my backyard, Rob's Animal Channel.